Now, formal and informal credit, who gets what? See, here on page number 49, they have shown one graph. Graph number 2. It shows the importance of formal and informal sources of credit for people in urban areas. Urban means in city areas. The people are divided into 4 groups. From poor to rich, they have divided into 4 groups. Okay. You can see that 85% of the loans taken by poor households in the urban areas are from informal sources. See, the light purple color, 85%. These have been taken from informal sources. What must be the reason? Because these poor people living in the cities, they don't have collateral to give it to the bank. So they have to buy from a money lender or a saukar, okay, as you call them. Okay. Now you compare this with the rich urban households. The rich urban households, only 10% of the loans come from informal sources, whereas 90% comes from formal sources, that they take loan from banks because they have collateral. Okay, they have a security to offer to the bank when they take a loan. So, the rich people, what is happening is that the rich people are getting credit at a cheap rate, whereas the poor people, the poor urban people are getting credit at a higher rate. So, the poor people have to pay a large amount for borrowing. So, what happens, what you see from this, that the formal sector still meets only about half of the total credit needs of the rural people. Because the poor people, they don't have much assets with them. So naturally, they can't borrow from formal banks, okay? But the rich, they have assets, they have a house, they have a car, which they can give as a collateral, okay? So, this is helping only the rich people. Second thing what we see is that the banks and the cooperatives are not reaching to the rural farmers, okay? Thus, so what is happening is that they are going more and more under the debt trap. Thus, it is necessary that banks and cooperatives increase their lending, particularly in the rural areas, so that the dependence on informal sources is reduced. Okay, they don't have to no more depend on a money lender. Okay. Secondly, while formal sector loan needs to expand, it is also necessary that everyone receives this loan. In urban areas, what do you see? That only the rich are getting loans from the formal sector, not the poor people. In fact, it should be in such a way that the poor should get benefit of the formal sector, so that it will help them to come out of poverty. So they don't have to pay more interest rates. If they don't have to pay more interest rate, then repayment of loan will be easier for them. Everyone wants to pay loan. No one wants to say that I am going to take loan and I am not going to repay, because again he wants a loan. But what happens is that the poor, they take loan from informal sources, and since the interest rate is high, what happens is that it becomes difficult for them to repay the loan, and they go in that vicious trap of debt. Okay. Now let us come to the self-help groups for the poor. See, banks are not present everywhere in rural India. Even when they are present, getting a loan from the big bank becomes very difficult for the lenders, the poor farmers. Okay. So, because bank loans require proper documentation, they are illiterate, they don't have landless laborers. If they are landless or they have small land, they have hardly any collateral. So, absence of collateral is one of the major reasons which prevent the poor from getting bank loans. So the informal lenders, such as the money lenders on the other hand, they know the borrowers personally. So they say, okay, they speak very sweet when they want to give loan because they know it's going to be a profitable business for them because they're going to earn a lot of interest. They say, Arey, you want the interest? Arey, I am the why you worry? How much money you want? Okay, I'll give you 10,000 rupees. Tomorrow you come to my house, I'll give you 10,000. Don't worry about it. You pay me later. So the poor person is very happy. He goes to the money lender and the money lender gives him 10,000 rupees and then he charges him 5% interest per month. And which are that poor fellow, what happens? He is unable to repay. Then later on he has to sell off his land or his house to the money lender. Okay? So today, what happened to get out of this situation? Today, people have tried some newer ways to providing loans to the poor. The idea is to organize this rural people, poor people living in the rural villages, okay, in particular women. So they have formed small self-help groups or the SHGs and pool or collect their savings. Means the women of a village, they come together, they form their own self-help group, they pool, they collect together their savings. Each self-help group has nearly 15 to 20 members. So they meet and save regularly. Saving per member varies. Some save rupees 50, some 20, some 100, okay, or sometimes more, depending on the ability to save. Then the members can take small loans from the group itself to meet their needs. So if one member needs money because someone is ill in a house, then she can take loan from this pooled money which they have saved, okay, and then repay. The group charges interest on these loans, but this is less compared to the interest charged by a money lender. After a year or two, if the group is regular in savings, it becomes eligible to avail loan from a bank. Loan is sanctioned by the bank in the name of the group, and this loan can be utilized by the members of the group for their needs. For instance, small loans are provided to the members for releasing their mortgage land if they mortgage their land. Then to meet the working capital they need for their cultivation, okay, for buying seeds, for raw materials, then for housing materials, for acquiring assets like a sieving machine if someone wants to start some part-time business like sieving after in between the time from the cultivation and the harvest time they are free, so they can sieve at home. So sieving machines, hand looms, etc. Most of the important decisions regarding the savings and loan activities are taken together by the members of this group. They meet and they take decisions of how, from where they have to take the loan, to whom they have to give a loan, okay, how much should be the amount that should be granted. Also, it is a group which is responsible for the repayment of the loan. Any case of non-repayment of loan by any one member is followed up seriously by other members in the group. Because of this feature, banks are willing to lend the poor women when organized in SHGs. If a single poor woman would have approached the bank, she would have not got the loan. But now, as she is a member of the self-help group, and since other members are also responsible for the loan which that member is taking from the banks are ready to give them loans. Okay, because the SHG is itself a collateral. Okay. Thus, what happens? These self-help groups, they help borrowers overcome the problem of lack of collateral. Now they can get timely loans for whatever need they have. Moreover, what happens? these self-help groups are the building blocks of organization of the rural poor. Not only does it help women to become financially self-reliant, the regular meetings of the group provide a platform to discuss and act on a variety of social issues too. When all these women meet together, they get loans, that is there. But at the same time, they are discussing of the social issues in the villages. That makes them more smarter, that makes them more socially aware. Okay, they can talk about, they can come together and discuss about the health of the women or the children. They can be, since they come together, someone can guide them regarding nutrition, regarding health, regarding domestic violence. Okay, the best example of rural bank is the Grameen Bank of Bangladesh. This Grameen Bank of Bangladesh is one of the biggest success stories in reaching the poor to meet their credit needs at reasonable rates. Okay, this Grameen Bank was started in 1970s. In October 2014, it has over 868.63 million members. It was started in 1970. By October 2014, now it has some 8.63 million members in about 81,390 villages in Bangladesh. Just imagine how far this bank has developed. Almost all of the borrowers are women and belong to the poorest section of the society. These borrowers have proved that not only poor women are reliable borrowers, but that they can start and run a variety of small businesses. It's not necessarily that only rich people can start business. A poor woman that from the rural area also can start a business and run these activities very successfully. Okay, so that is all what we have studied. So we come to know what is money. Okay, why money is necessary, why it's essential, why it is different from barter system. What we also came to know what is the meaning of the term, the double coincidence of wants. Then we came to know about the credit facility, what credit facilities, what are the role of the bank. Okay, how the bank run, how deposits are made, how you can take loan, the different types of loan, formal and informal loan. How, because of the formal loan, there is a country can progress more and more formal loan, reaching to the poorest section of the society will help the country to economically progress. That's all we saw in this chapter, money and credit. Okay. And before I end this chapter, I'd like to remind you, suggest you that please subscribe to our channel Galaxy Online Learning. Okay, and don't forget to press the bell icon, because after pressing the bell icon you will start getting notification of all the new videos coming which have been uploaded. Okay, and register yourself with Galaxy Tutorials. So what will happen, that you will get a study pack, and this study pack will help you to study at your home, to do your self-studies, to study at home. It contains all the textual questions plus most important questions, the MCQs. I think the thing is going to be that there is very little time. There won't be, because of the COVID-19, there won't be much long papers for you, I feel. Okay, mostly it will be in the form of MCQs, because now most of the exams are in the form of MCQs. So maybe your exam may also, not sure, but it may also contain a lot of MCQs. Okay, so we have a lot of MCQs in those state packs, in the study pack. So that will help you to practice those MCQs and get good marks. So get yourself registered with Galaxy Tutorial. Thank you. Good day.